Good afternoon, my paint pouring people. Today I'm going to play with some of the Mont pouring paints. Today I'll go through the colours as I go along. The Mont pouring paints that are pre-made up, so ideal for people that don't want to do the mixing of the paints and try and get everything right. They're really good for if you're traveling and you want to still paint, so they're a good idea. So I'm having to play with these again because I like to mix it up and play with me pre-made pouring paints as well as the just the acrylic paints and mixing it up. Of course, it's always therapeutic to mix your own paints because that's part of the therapy, but I've prepared the bottom. I've put my masking tape and my giant push pins in the bottom, which I hammer those in with the little hammer that I've got here. This canvas is a 30.5 by 40.6 centimetre canvas, which is 12 by 16 inches. So just in case of the people that ask me. Okay, so I will get going and have a little play with these. Now, I just poured them directly from the bottle yesterday into the pouring cups because I wanted to add, I've just added 1 drop of my Helmar silicone. I wanted to do another little test to see if adding my little magic silicone that I love to use in the pouring paints, what kind of effect it will give me. So that's what I did. So they've all had the good stir and a good shake before you use them because they're very highly pigmented and yeah, and they need a good shake in the bottle. So I'm just going to do this kind of a linear one because I want to test it out with the Helmar silicone. So this is the colour, which is beautiful. It's a turquoise. Yeah, it's just turquoise. Thought it'd have got some fancy name, but no, just turquoise, which is a nice colour. Like that. So I'm just kind of doing a linear one. Is that how you call it? I'm going to put my love red and turquoise together, so I will definitely put those in. I'm thinking now that I might not have enough paint here because this is a little bit bigger canvas than I usually do with these particular paints. Maybe have gone a little bit thicker than I would like because I made them up yesterday morning and intended to pour with them late yesterday afternoon, but didn't get round to. We'll see what we can do with them anyway. We'll just see what I get. So this is the cadmium red, so which is a really vibrant bright red. Trying to get every last drop out of here. So these paints I get from my online supplier here in Australia, so anybody in Australia can get these paints. I put a link to the supplier that I get mine from, drop down box. Anybody in the US can get them from Amazon. So yeah, now this is the gold, and I did add a little bit of Floetrol to this gold because I was testing it on another pour. I just added, that's what I've got written on the side of my cup, so I know I was testing on other paint pours a few days ago, so this one has been made up more than a few days ago, so I'm just putting it here at the bottom in case I don't want it to disrupt the rest if I have to I'm swiping and dragging it down over this. Just want to see what I get with it. Okay, I will add some of this gorgeous coral, it's called. So it's kind of looking like a bit like a coral reef pour, isn't it, with all these colours in it. And I have been meaning I will get round to doing another mix with the clear PVA that I've got from Mont that I've just got their absolute amazing results from. Clear PVA when I made up my own pouring medium. There's another video on that there if any of you have missed it. So that was just absolutely amazing results with that PVA that I made up, the clear PVA it is. So and this is the silver going in, so I'll just a little bit thicker than the rest, which usually the metallics are, and they kind of usually need to be that little bit thicker just so they because they seem to sink, but probably more so when you do a flip cut. Hopefully it shouldn't do so much on this one, but yeah, each one of these just had one drop I put in of that Helmar silicone. I was going to swipe with this colour, which is the phthalo. Oh, that's ultramarine blue, that one. Okay, ultramarine blue. So this is just a plain everyday white. Looking like I might need to, well, I don't need to actually mix any colours because this was pre-made, so I can just use it directly from the bottle if I do need some more. But it might swipe in all of those gaps there. Actually, I'm going to swipe with my really dark navy. I'll use this ultramarine blue because this is kind of looking like very beachy kind of pour in here. Just going to fill in my gaps. Bit of this blue. So it's just kind of another test that I wanted to put to the test, basically having the pouring paint but just with the few drops of silicone in, what kind of results it'll get from doing that. So always just love experimenting and trying a few different things. Have to go back through to my own videos to remember sometimes when somebody asks me what was it you put in that. Because when you do so many, you can't remember every single pour and what ingredients you may have had. So it's very time consuming trying to answer questions of, you know, what you're adding. Because most time, well, I do now, in the drop down box that you'll see underneath the video, which is where's my description, I will put my pouring medium recipe and how I make up my paint will all be in there, so I don't have to keep answering the same questions. So if anybody's looking for answers to questions like that, that's where you will find the answers. Okie dokie. I'm going to just give it a tiny little bit of a tilt around, just try and I'm not too worried about the sides at all of the canvas because there's something I'm not going to stress about and that you can fix up afterwards. So I'm just going to give it a tilt to basically cover the canvas, go back over the top hopefully a little bit. Just didn't want these paints too much overlapping. If you watch my videos, I'll kind of usually overlap and do all the paints in a swirl motion. This is just more linear. I just, again, it was basically testing leaving the paint in a cup if that made any difference, you know, to the paint when you pour it, and testing the silicone in it, the silicone oil, to see what we get. So this is not moving down the bottom where this gold is, because that's obviously much thicker than the rest. But we'll see what we get anyway in this, I'm sure. Thinking positive, we've got to have good results. So I'll just go down and finger pop the edges with the paint that's left. And of course you can also balloon pop the edges, which leaves a really nice effect on the side of your canvas. If you get a little tiny water balloon and dab it on the sides, it leaves a really nice effect. So, but yeah, I won't worry about the top too much. Like I said, don't worry about too much. There's nothing that you can't fix up at a later afterwards. So okay, we'll put this white colour on, which I made a navy up out of, I used the ultramarine blue, then I put one blob of just the black in the same pouring paint, and one blob of the dark green, and I've got this really nice dark navy. So yeah, it's just a little colour that you can make up quite easy yourself. So this is what I'm going to swipe with all the way down the painting, hopefully. So see how we go. It looks almost black, that, but it is actually navy. So I will, for this particular swipe, I'll just get this is a soft plastic file divider, and I'll swipe down with this one today for the sake of my experiment. So I'll let in this soft plastic file divider, just drop into the top colour just about 1 centimetre, and then just slowly, no rush. And if you see the sides are missing out a bit on the swiper, that's okay, because I can go over. Oh, look at that, it's popping up, like the cells are popping up already like a night sky. Beautiful. Wowee. See these little like champagne cells popping up? That's lovely. Lovely, lovely. I'll go down the side again. This one. Not worried about those bits, because if I decide to do any embellishing, that will all be covered. Okay. Wow. So they're kind of like, yeah, little tiny champagne cells. We will see what the heat torch brings up. Hello. So. Okay. Let's move my paints out the way so I don't. Okay. Just go over with the heat torch. Ooh. I think I'll need to replace this gas pretty soon. Oh, look where that red's coming through at the top. They're really little tiny like champagne cells, which are actually a nice change from what I would normally get. And it's just, yeah, it's just basically forming before your very eyes. Let me just, it's my teeny tiny, it's just an ordinary balloon that I just put a bit of water in it, and I just love it for doing little embellishing. So I'm just going to see what this teeny tiny balloon, water balloon does. I'll just, it's nice to do the edges with the balloon. I can't see over the back there, so, but we'll cover up, oh, a few imperfections maybe, or it'll bring some of the other colours through that I've got there, which I think I would be best to actually leave this for about, I won't leave it too long, because we're obviously in the summer here in Australia, and it's quite warm, even though my good news is that we've had an air conditioner fitted in my studio. So what that means is I'll be able to continue working throughout the hot summer that we have. Okay, just gonna see what in this very dark area. Should almost look like fireworks. Oh yeah, look at the red coming through and that. A little bit thick to be doing it at this stage, but I'll give it a go because it seems to be bringing through some delightful little, it's like little, like, certainly looks like fireworks in a night sky, but just giving it that little bit extra time to dry, it will look even better. So I will just leave this now. I'm going to just leave it for half an hour. I'll be back. I'll just give you a close-up of those little cells, see what you think. Yeah, see the tiny little champagne cells, so really nice if you're particularly doing a night sky. And as you see where I've embellished just that bit with the balloon, they kind of look like fireflies and fairies or fireworks. So I'll be back soon. I'm back. I've only left this about 15 minutes because I'm just worried about it drying too quickly and going tacky. I'm going to try some of my big balloon in this. I mean, it really does look like a night sky of fireworks, so I'm quite happy with it. It's a lovely look, but I just wanted to put the big Bertha balloon in it and see how we go, which I might stuff it up or I might absolutely do a wonderful job. So I've just got to try, haven't you? So trying some rolls. Ooh, 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 ooh. Which they all close in back in, which is good because I'll just let that happen because that'll close back in and give a lovely effect. And it really looks feathery, beautiful. Some of that red, oh that's nice. Put some of that red in there too. So yeah, you can do anything you choose in these. You can go to town on it, you can just leave it as it was, just do a few little embellishments, which I've probably gone overboard down here, but you know, it's all personal choice. It's what you want to do with your work. It's not up to anyone else, is it really? Oh, look at that red in that dark area. That looks pretty nice. It's a bit too heavy with paint there, look, as you can see, but it'll still form a lovely effect. Okay, I am not going to do any more with the big balloon. Like I said, when you use your balloon, I always use the blowy up bit between your fingers and you squeeze. You've got more control, even if you're balloon kissing it, and especially when you roll, it's a twist of your wrist. You've got lots of control over the balloon. I just find if you try and do the balloon downwards, it doesn't, I've tried it and it doesn't give me as nice results as when I've got full control with my hand here. So I'll leave that one, just get my little teeny tiny little water balloon back. This I want to come in a bit further together. That's it. Just want to close that gap basically that was left by that big balloon roll. Just some little kisses here and there. I'm going to leave those like little fireflies up there. So yeah, it does look like a carnival of colour, but I like it. So that is the Mont pouring paint with just one drop of the Helmar silicone in it. Gives a really nice, I'm happy with that. Gives a nice effect. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Another little experiment, and I know there's lots of people have been sending me pictures of you know, what they've been doing with these paints. So it's all a learning curve for us all, but we're getting some beautiful work out of it. And I really like that that's got the dark area around. It really makes that pop. So I'll try and give you a close-up. Some of those gorgeous areas there. It's really, really vibrant and pops straight out of that, having that dark kind of negative space with those little champagne cells. Okay guys, that's it for me. I just want to thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It helps me, and I love to hear your comments on what you think of it. Of course, keep it respectable and nice, because nobody likes a negative Nelly. So all good until next time. See you again. Decided to just put a few little embellishments onto this further than the balloon to make it look like, well, to look like whatever you choose, whether there it's a night sky. So I'm just using this little, just taking it down through the paint, and I've done it with that one and here, and I'll do it with that off the edge. Just thought I'd add those little drags down. That one looks a bit iffy. So just thought I'd add those few embellishments. So it's just with a plastic or pipette thing. Don't know what that's used for, but just thought I'd show you what you can do with it.